Hey, do you come here often?
Yeah, I'm looking for an Arisen who appreciates my inner values.
Oh, which are?
I'm a Utilitarian Mitigator with a bit of Pioneer.
Welcome Arisen, my name is Dugarr and the pawn system is one of Dragon's Dogma's most unique features. But how does it work? What determines the behavior of my pawn? This and more you will learn in the next couple of minutes. Let's start at the beginning, the creation of your pawn. At the end of your pawn creation you will be asked a couple of questions, and depending on your answers, your pawn will get 3 different inclinations or behavior patterns. The first is locked in and won't change on its own, but we'll talk later about how to change it manually. The second is flexible and changes depending on your behavior throughout the game. And the third is hidden to get only activated in situations where the first 2 aren't applicable. So how does my behavior change that of my pawn? Easy. If you are gathering everything that is laying around, sooner or later so will your pawn. If you always attack small monsters first before taking on the big boss, so will your pawn. So far, so easy. If you want to speed up the process, you can go to an inn and sit down in the Knowledgechair. Here you have a friendly chat with your pawn and the option to change at least a bit of his behavior. The option presented here still depends on your behavior and the hidden inclination. In short, you can switch the second inclination with the hidden one. But how to change your first inclination? This is a not very good explained part of the game. There are practically 2 ways. If you rent pawns from other players, your pawn will over time take on the inclinations you rent the most. Way easier is if you go back to the military encampment. You will find the NPC Jonathan near the Riftstone. He sells you a couple of Elixir, which you can then consume to change the inclination of your pawn. Every Elixir you consume changes about 20% of your pawn's inclination. A common practice is to buy the Elixir of the inclination you want your pawn to have. For example, 9 of the one you want as first, 5 for the second and 3 for the hidden third. And then taking them in reversed order. To make it even easier, you can start with a neutralizing Elixir, so you start fresh. The last hurdle to overcome is the naming of the inclinations. Scather, Nexus, Pioneer, those aren't really descriptive names. So let us talk about which inclination does what and how your actions change your pawn. But before we do that, I've got a challenge for you. Hit the like button before the pawn hits the ground. There are 9 inclinations in total. Scather, Mitigator, Challenger, Medicant, Guardian, Nexus, Pioneer, Utilitarian and Aquisitor. The Scather inclination lets your pawn attack the big monsters first and then the small. You increase this inclination by doing the same or decrease it by ignoring strong enemies for at least 20 seconds into the fight. The Mitigator is opposite of Scather. Here the pawn will concentrate on the small melee monsters first. It is increased by attacking small melee enemies and decreased by attacking ranged or spellcasting enemies. The Challenger is like the Mitigator, but for ranged and spellcasters. Increase it by focusing on ranged enemies and decrease it by melee enemies. The Medicant uses healing items to heal both of your health or debilitations and give you status buffs. You increase it by using items or using the pawn command come outside of battle, and decrease it by not healing while your health is below 40%. The Guardian lets your pawn stand by your side and only gets active once you're being attacked. It will be increased by using the command help or come and decreased by using the command go. Nexus is like Guardian, but instead of you, the pawn will protect other pawns. It will be increased if you help other pawns and decreased if you ignore them. The Pioneer will stand far away from you and attack enemies on sight. It is increased by using the Go command and decreased by taking the lead and letting the pawns follow you. The Utilitarian will more likely use special items from his inventory. It is increased by enchanting weapons, using special items like bombs, or using support skills like the launch board, and decreased by not doing such things. And lastly, the Aquisitor. He will gather everything he can find, even in the midst of battle. Increase it by picking up items, decrease it by ignoring everything that's lying around. Me personal, I like to have a Strider pawn with Scather and Challenger with me, so he supports me fighting the big ones while taking care of ranged enemies. Now you know everything there is, so you can use your pawn to its full potential. So stay strong and slay a dragon.